But we want also to drill deeper on another issue, that is at Turkana oil dilemma right now as far as security is concerned. And there was a story that was done by Charity Mwangi that will just act as a segue to our discussion today, because there seemed to be no clarity as far as how revenue will be shared among the locals as well. Some of them are saying, no, the money should go direct to our ATMs. That is a 5%. So which way to go? Let's listen in and then we shall continue with the discussion.
Following the recently reported blockade of the road by residents of Turkana County hampering the transportation of crude oil to Mombasa, County Commissioner Saif Matata has assured Tullow Oil of increased security presence in the South Lokichar oil basin to ensure such cases are prevented.
It's unfortunate that they have mobilized the youth and even children to lie on the floor and to block the movement of oil.
Matata says that the demonstrations are being sponsored by political leaders with vested interests. Turkana County legislators now say that the government will continue facing opposition from the locals if they do not address pressing issues concerning the oil venture in Turkana. 2 days after President Uhuru Kenyatta flagged off the first trucks of oil, there was an attack that left 3 herders dead. A week ago, a similar attack left 1 herder dead and livestock of unknown value lost.
The president ordered shoot to kill. It was implemented, it was supposed to be implemented on 4th. When it was done, because bandits killed our people, Matiang'i has never appeared in anywhere. He's ever busy with copper, sulfur, mercury. He's busy going from oil with sugar cartels.
The leaders, however, say that they will stop all the operations if their demands are not met.
The oil is very safe. It is resting. The trucks are resting. The moment the government will give Turkana respect, give them their security, give them their jobs, then we have no problem.
Though the government had agreed on the share of the proceeds that will go to the local community, the county and the national government, the legislators now say that that is not enough.
We have issues to do with the jobs. Our people have been denied jobs in Tullow that is controlled by a family.
The newly constituted Critical Infrastructure Protection Unit of the Administration Police has increased presence in the area with 20 police personnel engaging in the escort of the oil trucks, with an additional 8 on patrol around the South Lokichar oil basin and an additional police presence at the sites. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
Well, so they say Matiang'i is ever busy. He doesn't come to consult with them. He's ever busy with mercury and lead. And truly, Matiang'i is busy because right now he's appearing before the Senate Ad Hoc Committee. Of course, this is in regard to the Solai tragedy. We just want to cross over there just to get a snippet of what is happening right now. And then we'll go back with to our discussion with our panelists here. Let's just listen in to what is happening right now with the Solai tragedy with the Senate Ad Hoc Committee. The latest there, CS Matiang'i appearing before the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Solai tragedy. Of course, that is a developing story. We'll be keeping our eyes peeled on it and, of course, keeping out our ears as well for the latest. As soon as we get our information from there, of course, we shall relay that to you as well. That will be happening later in the day. But we want to continue apace with the conversation. And we just want to draw your attention also on, of course, that particular story that we just ran for you by Charity Mwangi. And there was a very interesting editorial cartoon as well from Victor in the Star some 3 weeks ago about what is happening in Turkana. Is the oil safe? That is a probing question that was being asked there by the editorial cartoonist there. Health bandit attack, bullet flyings. You can see a property destroyed, cattle stolen, SOS. Guys, are we facing off or are we waiting for a tinderbox to explode as far as Turkana is concerned? Listening to what the residents are saying as far as revenue sharing is concerned, is there any clarity? Let's begin with Jeremiah Kioni.
I think one of the things is that this is an issue that must be nipped at the bud. It must be dealt with
Very
family,
yes.
and at this early point, because it's an issue that can destabilize even the country. Again, I think it is the same case of leaders inciting their people, their locals, their voters, without giving them the facts. Because we need to be clear in our minds that if oil is discovered in Ndaragwa today, we can only bargain with the government. We can only ask them, how do you compensate us if you move us from here? These are things that we must allow Kenyans to know. That like you said from the beginning, or I think it's Senator Omogeni who mentioned, is that these natural resources belong to us all as Kenyans.
Yes.
The fact that they are in your area, we agree that it shouldn't be taken away without a bit of benefit coming to the community. But we must make sure that we don't allow this to happen. Just like we are talking about Mao and anything else that is happening in the country, we shouldn't allow Kenyans to behave the way we see it happening in Turkana. And again, I think we must differentiate. When you go and start demolishing a fence, you are cutting padlocks into somebody's compound. These are criminal offenses. And when leaders don't help their people into these issues, they're actually leading them the wrong way, misleading them, and eventually those individuals will suffer. They've been caught on camera. So it's just a matter of time before the authorities narrow down to the individuals. And that is malicious damage to property. We agree there are issues, there is the issue of compensation, there is the issue of how much money should be left within Turkana County and rest, what percentage. These are issues I believe that the government is still having and being debated upon. But again, we cannot allow ourselves to go this way. It must be dealt with warily. And you note this member of parliament, James Romenen, he's very careful. You know, he's very careful with what he is saying. He's not, you didn't capture him inciting.
Yes.
He's talking about shoot to kill, and so he is with the people, championing their cause, but not inciting, as opposed to what we saw at Mao. And this is, but I think a little bit of civic education will be required. But I also noticed that he's very careful in the choosing of words. When if you are to bring others who've spoken before on the issues of oil in Turkana, you see that he's very, very careful, and a true politician, making sure that he's with the people, he's not inciting them, but he's also, without saying it, recognizing that these are natural resources that belong to us as Kenyans. And I think this is what is called for from us as leaders. Yes. But it must be dealt with at this early point.
Yes, Okong'o.
Yeah, I think everything we are debating today touches on, you know, our national interests. And, you know, as a country, we must appreciate that if we have these natural resources, then we must exploit and utilize them. Not just for the benefit of the people who live in Turkana, but for the benefit of the entire country. So if we have discovered oil in Turkana, it needs to be exploited, and we need to reap some benefits from it. But this must be balanced with the rights of the people who, in terms of, I don't know whether to say historical or whatever, found themselves settled in that area where we have discovered these natural resources. So the spirit of our constitution is that as we exploit these natural resources, we must utilize the money that we get for the benefit of the local people. That we cannot run away from. And even as we ensure that as a country we are getting oil, we must ensure that when we share the benefits, the local people must also get some benefits from there must be accruing benefits to the locals. And this will be in two ways. The first one will be the agreement that should be there on what percentage of money should remain with the locals through the county government. But what leaders must tell them, this will not be by way of you give your bank account and then money will be wired to your account. That will not be the case.
That is a clarity which is not there.
Yes,
that is the understanding,
you know,
on the ground.
That's where I talk about integrity of our leaders. We need to tell the people that the benefits that you need to receive as a people will be communal benefits. One, we need to see improvement of the infrastructure there. Once you get roads, you should tell the people that, look, this oil has helped us to have now good infrastructure. We have good roads. Two, there should be enough money to have good hospitals for these people at the local level. That is a benefit. There should be good schools for the local people. That's a benefit. Why I agree with Mheshimiwa is that if you have also people qualified, the locals, if they are qualified to be employed in Tulo, then it's also fair that you allow their children who have gone to school to get employment in that company, because they are the ones who have found themselves within that area where we have these natural resources. So I think both the government and the Tulo must be sensitive to the needs of the locals, but the locals must also understand that oil was not discovered in Turkana so that people give their bank accounts to be receiving money wired to their accounts.
A lot of civic education has to be done.
Yes.
I think, again, the leaders had a meeting with the president, as you know. They had a meeting and agreed on some terms. And so the leaders now go to the ground, and the first thing the people ask, what did you agree on? And I guess maybe in the process, they tell people there will be money coming to the communities. And the communities can assume that that money is coming in cash. So I agree that maybe the communication to the people wasn't right. But I saw also that the members of parliament, the Lomenen, saying that the president had given a shoot-to-kill order, and then the following day, Pokot bandits attack. Okay, now the Pokot bandits say attack them. Now we are seeing Turkana bandits removing electricity, removing what do you call the fences, and cutting. So bandits against bandits doesn't count. The truth is, leaders must be able to tell the people the truth. And I keep saying that in politics, our problem is we want to play the convenient card and tell people that you have all this money. That money is not there. The oil can be called Turkana oil. There's no problem with that. It's called Turkana oil. But that oil really must benefit everybody. Finally, if you know, the question in the cartoon there is the oil safe? Mm-hmm. And I think if that's what it takes to stop the oil, it can't be safe. What I saw there is really what it takes to stop government oil from moving. Then obviously we are not. The oil cannot be said to be safe. By the time, Debarl, that our police and others watch young people climb the walls, cut the locks, remove the razor wire, and all these things are just in glare of TV cameras. By that time, we've lost the safety, we've lost the security. So how safe can you be? How safe is a person who is a foreigner who works in that camp anymore?
Thank you. Let's hear from Alice Wahome.
Oh, I don't know how long this issue of the Tulo oil, you know, the exploration stages, the research. I think what happens is that we move sometimes very quickly and leaving the communities behind. Knowing that we do very bad politics in this country, I think there is need for the government to integrate the people in some of these activities prior to the actual launching or commissioning. And therefore it is possible that the people are speaking contrary to maybe the need, the public need, or the government investment proposal and project. You see people are coming in here, the explorer, you know, they are people who are not within this community, and then even issues of how many you can employ, what are the skills that are needed. All this communication has to go very early to the community. And even as we go in as a government, you would expect that because this is a company, the government should have been there before with things like the roads, you know, so that you are saying, because of this, these are the expectations, so that people can start receiving the benefits, like we are saying, good roads, health facilities, you know, water, even ahead of the actual exploration. Or the oil is not safe, because in those circumstances, the oil is not safe. You asked me.
Thank you.
And it will bring a conflict, and that is where now people take opportunity, advantage. There are people, commercial interests now, not community interests. Everything there is being championed now. It's hardly community interest. I think it's commercial interests of the different groups that want to get the oil money themselves into their pockets.
Lastly, let's hear from Farah Maalim.
You know, like I've always said, and I'll again repeat it, is that in this country, we have assimilated the culture of dishonesty, serious dishonesty, and getting a smart way to always take advantage of one section of the society or the other. When we got independence in this country, we had what was called Sessional Paper number 10 of 1965, which said intensification of the economy, which means those people who are lucky enough to have resources, which is agricultural, in their own lands, will put more money into it. Watch. First, it said Kenya is an agricultural country, and that's where the base of our own economy should be, the backbone of our own economy. And then it said intensification, as opposed to extensification. Instead of making sure that that same agriculture, in its own varied forms, for example, dryland agriculture and the rest of it, is taken to all the four corners of the country, the total amount of money, which basically our own economy concentrated on the center, which had a big rainfall and had what you call coffee and tea. Today, when we have oil in the arid and semi-arid areas, instead of also using the same say and say, look, we have a sessional paper, we'll have to intensify. You have to do intensification of government commitments in the development on those areas where we have the resources from. Maintain the spirit of sessional paper number 10 of 1965.
Briefly.
To benefit. Yes.
We are winding up. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Because we have to cross over
to benefit these people also. Yes. You know what we did? Poor guys, Turkanas, people in the north, you find them always emaciated. Every time people have to come from the outside the world to come and save them because they're starving. We have never changed that. Today, when oil is found in their place, we had a constitutional provision that there will be a certain percentage which will be left, as Omogeni has put it. That was 10% initially. We now try to create a law that essentially changes that.
Thank you.
And then, hang on a minute.
No, we have to cross over.
But let me just finish.
Absolutely, but just finish.
I finished, wait. That law again was lowered under this Jubilee government. Under Kibaki, the law was there. It's been lowered, and now a capping is put on it. And now there's a lot of hanky-panky business. Those Turkanas have a right to demand their share of the resources that are being extracted from their own land. The same way people in what they call agriculturally high potential areas had also the same rights, right from independence until today. So now that we have resources in there, we must also give them their rights.
Thank you.